Hey, Priest, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, indeed.
We are in Las Vegas, Nevada at the moment, and we did some traveling to get here, and I figured we should do a story time episode about traveling. You want to do that? You want to talk travels?
I'm good. I think at first I'll start off. Earlier we were talking, you said something about Tecate. You said something about Juarez.
Yeah, Juarez, Mexico, Tecate, Mexico.
So years ago,
okay,
all right, when I'm in college, we were playing in the Sun Bowl.
Okay, the Sun Bowl. All right, flashback.
Yeah, playing
USA,
North Carolina.
Let's go.
One of my best games, man. That put me on the map at the University of Texas, right?
Yeah.
So,
the Sun Bowl.
anyways, we get a chance to go to Juarez.
Yeah.
Right, and you go across that border, right, and then there's like a little shopping area that's where we were supposed to stay.
Okay.
Don't go no more than 4 blocks out of that shopping area, right?
Yep.
And you can barter, you can make some deals and stuff like that. Well, a bunch of the players decided that I don't know, they wanted to go see the donkey or something like that. I don't know, something like that. Some story about that. So they wanted to go out a little further out and ended up not necessarily getting stuck, but it was one of those things where half the team got in trouble. You know what I mean? Because they already knew that we didn't stay within 3 blocks of just, the good part of it. So when you talked about Juarez, man, I've got that story that I remember I can't get out of my mind where everybody was trying to get their butts back so they could get back on the bus at a certain time.
So what happened? Like, did players go missing? Like, were they?
So
like nobody knew where anybody
went
was?
missing.
Because this is pre-cell phone, right? There are no.
Yeah, this is what
96, 95, something.
95, maybe?
Okay.
94.
94.
Yeah,
okay.
94. So, so the guys go back there, and everybody's told not to do it, basically.
Yeah.
And you got there's always those couple of defensive players.
Yeah. Tell 19-year-olds to not do it. What are they going to do?
They're like, we want to venture out just a little bit more, right? So
Sure.
not half, but a good majority of the team actually did half of the things that they weren't supposed to do. Went a little further out. So some guys obviously didn't come up. They got missed. Some came missing, but not necessarily missing to where we didn't see them anymore, but just they missed the bus back. So there was some reprimanded. Some of the guys were reprimanded, But it ended up being my best game. Why? Because I didn't go across the border.
Wait, so you didn't go to Mexico?
I just went as far as that, they told us to go, right, to the shopping area.
Yeah,
but half of the guys, half of the stories, they were coming back, man, talking about, half of them got in trouble, some almost came up missing, Well, and for them, they couldn't figure their way back, because it's one of those things, once the bus leaves, you got to figure it out.
So what did they do? Like, no cell phones, like they're in some street they don't know, like what?
Yeah,
they
said they dropped the University of Texas name. Said that's the reason why I'm here. We're here to play a bowl game. We're a football player, So, there's always somebody that comes to the rescue and kind of helps people out, but got them back across the border, believe it or not.
Lucky.
And got it back here. So that was probably one of my times going there across in Juarez.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you balled out. Do you remember?
Yeah, I balled out, man. It was one of the games.
You remember anything specific about that game? Like, why'd you play so well that day?
Yeah, so it was like one of those things where it was a close game at the very beginning, first 2 quarters, and then like halftime hit, and then it just happened for me. The magic happened, and scored several touchdowns, brought the team back, and we ended up winning. Dove from the 5-yard line. Yeah, I got to go back into the archives and grab that.
Yeah, we'll see if we could dig up the footage on that.
Yeah.
Now, did they have a nice goodie bag for you back then? Because now you show up at any of these bowls, you get tricked out, you get all kinds of, treats.
I'm sure the swag bag today looks a lot different than the swag bag.
Was there even a swag bag back then?
There was, but it was one of those things where you either were with Nike or you were with Reebok, right?
Okay.
So basically what it would consist of is going to be probably a Nike bag or a Reebok bag, and then you're going to probably have 2 or 3 pair of sweats, and you're going to have a couple of caps, and so and you might have a pair of tennis shoes, So it stopped at that. So I think that now
now they're getting air fryers, they're getting, lifetime supply of Pop-Tarts, like they're getting everything now.
Look, so I mentioned this probably on one of the other podcasts where I talked about going to the first game of the University of Texas this year versus Ohio State, right?
Right.
Defending national champions, right? You're like, okay, this is going to be a tough game. All right, so I believe UT played a close game, right? They only lost by 7 points, right? So it was a tough game for them
All
as well.
eyes on Arch, too.
Arch,
there was a lot of pressure.
And then the last 4 plays were basically Arch's plays to do the comeback, and he overthrew a player, threw a couple to the dirt, and then almost got sacked on the fourth and on the fourth down play. But you know, just being at that game and knowing like the difference about like how college football is, you know, it makes a real big difference, man. And so that game was one in particular that I went to, man, that made a real big difference for me.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about traveling. We're in Vegas right now. What's it like for an NFL player to travel? You know, that's half the battle, right? That's half your season before the playoffs. What goes into that? Give me a day in the life. You know, next week's game is a travel game. So what happens?
Next week is a travel game. I think for most players, they're trying to definitely get any of that rehab done before they know they're going to be going on the road, right? Because you're not going to have always just your people that you can go see, right? You're going to have maybe the team masseuse that's going to be there. You're going to have your rehab guys. You're going to have all that good stuff. So if you got all of that in play that week that you're getting ready prior to leave, then it's golden. You're feeling good. You got everything. All your boxes are checked. Now it's time to go to another city and have fun. And so what type of fun is that?
Yeah,
right?
So my next question.
So most guys, they're already like already trying to figure out like where is going to be that nice dinner like we're going to get in town, right? And so it's generally going to be on the basis if another player's already been to that city, if he's got friends from the other team that knows about a certain place, you're going to end up trying to have a very, very nice dinner. Then it comes to the nighttime, right? And it just depends on the type of team and type of coach and the type of atmosphere and the type of leadership that you have on your team. It really does. Because there's a number of guys that always know about the end spots, you know, to go to. And usually what you have is a player from another team. He's probably going to line you up with reservations somewhere just to be your biggest distraction, right? They're probably going to send, you know, it's going to be like, if it's wine bottles, they're going to have wine at your table, right? If it's bottle service, they're going to have bottles at your table, just so that they're going to have all the things to tempt you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you succumb to that temptation, right, it's going to be a tough Sunday morning or a tough Sunday evening, you know, depending on when you got to play that game. But for the most part, I think on the road, it's always trying to find that nice dinner that you're going to have.
Okay.
You know, and whatever that's going to be, pasta, steak, seafood, you know, you try to have something like that. Now, there's always the guys that they're going to break curfew, you know, and you got a handful of those guys.
So give me a handful. So give me the schedule. Games on Sunday.
Yeah.
When are you getting into town? Getting into town on Friday?
You're generally going to, it depends on where you're traveling. If you're going across the country.
All right, you're playing for Baltimore.
Yeah, and you're going to San Fran? Or
yeah, you're going all the way across country. When are you getting in?
Typically, they're going to want to fly out on a Friday.
Okay.
Right, and just give you an extra day, you know.
Just to acclimate.
Yeah, acclimate,
time
get
zone
situated.
Change. Yeah, sure.
You know, get a full night's rest, knowing that, you know, you're going to rest on that Friday night and you're going to rest on that Saturday night. But here's the thing.
I'm picturing rest in air quotes because of what you're about to say.
When you go across the country, right, and they're giving you the extra day, automatically the guys know there's probably not going to be really it's not a firm curfew. There's a light curfew.
Okay.
Meaning like you need to be back in the room by like 1 a.m., right? But that Friday is almost like the same Friday you have at home on a home game. And you know what most guys do on that Friday? They're going out and they're drinking, right? And especially on a Thursday night is a drink night. So for Fridays, you know, for the guys that are disciplined, they're probably going to just have a nice dinner. They're going to leave it at that, right? You're going to have a couple of meetings on that day, but for the most part, everything starts on that Saturday, right? You have your walkthrough on that Saturday morning. You come back to the hotel that evening. You're going to have meetings, and those meetings are going to stretch out for about 3 to 4 hours, right? And you're going to meet as a team. You're going to meet as an offense, defensive group, and then you're going to break down in your position meetings. You're going to meet. And then you're going to go into your room, right? Boom, lights out, wake up the next morning, then the game, right? But if you're, like I said, if you're there on that Friday, it's a party night. It really is. Yeah, it's game on. And the number of places that you can end up, you can just imagine, you know, from bottle service. And usually what comes along with bottle service is a lot of other things as well.
Anybody going to concerts? Like if there was like a cool band in town or an artist or something, or another sporting event.
No, I've never seen that.
Okay.
No. No, not to another sporting event. It's generally to
just
like a
club.
lounge.
Just the club, yeah.
Yeah, it's a club.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and like I said, and it's also to find out what those guys are doing in that city. There's a lot of competition amongst players, right?
Yeah.
So you can imagine if it's on a Friday night and you knowing that you're going to the same place that the opposing team that you're playing, they're going to be there as well. Then of course there's going to be some type of showing out in terms of like who's ordering what, and you know what I mean, and how much commotion are you causing in your area.
Oh, that's interesting. So it bleeds off the field into just before you even play.
Well, it's good, especially like, just imagine if I was playing a team and, you know, I'm playing against a team, then I got other guys that I played alongside with, right? Like Brian Westbrook, who played for the Lions.
So you
Chris
play
Carter.
for the Chiefs now. You're playing the Ravens.
That's right.
There's going to be some player crossover there, right?
Yeah, some play. And then definitely, I mean, if those relationships, you know, are really good and solid, you know, those guys are going to pretty much, when you go into a city where you know guys that are there, they're going to line you up on where to go.
So riddle me this.
Yes.
Why does it always just so happen that the fire alarm gets pulled at the hotel at 3 a.m. on Sunday before a game? What's the deal there? Come on, spill some tea here.
That's happened on a couple of occasions, but that's rare. It's rare. It's rare.
Who's doing that?
It's rare.
Is it a player? Like, is it a player? You don't have to name names, but I mean, is it? Or is this like
I doubt that it's an actual.
Is this like someone tipping off a fan, like, "Hey man, book a room at blah blah blah"?
Yeah,
and go
I think
pull
usually
the fire
it's some type of sabotage mechanism, right? Because like you can just imagine, like half of the guys are going to be knocked out sleep, you know, trying to get that rest, and then you have something like that going off
Jason
at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning,
sure.
stuff like that. Usually, it's definitely not going to be like somebody. It's going to be a plant, like, you know what I mean? Somebody has put somebody up in that hotel.
Any shenanigans, huh?
Well, the thing is that it's very hard for shenanigans to happen. You know, I definitely during that time when we be in the hotel room, there's always 2 security that are on the floor. So there's usually a guy that's at the elevator, right? So he's watching whoever's coming on that floor. And then there's usually going to be another security guy posted that works for the organization. He's going to be posted back where the back stairwell is. But if there's 2 back stairwells, guess what happens on the second one?
The fire alarm gets pulled. That's what happens.
No, the fire alarm does not get pulled.
What happens?
Whoever has the room next to the stairwell is the alert guy to let you know who's looking, who's not looking, who's coming up, who can't come up.
Gotcha.
And, you know, we all know who that guy is, you know.
It's Eddie Eyeball.
That's right. It's like
Eddie Eyeball.
You know, let me know when it's clear.
Sure.
And most times when you would say, let me know when it's clear, and this is for the single guys, of course, you know what I mean? Because, you know, they get to have all the fun, right? So the single guys, you can just imagine you're in a hotel and there's this certain stairwell that's unoccupied by security, right? And everybody knows where it's at. So you would have people or players that would book rooms in the same hotel with whoever they wanted on 2 or 3 floors above you.
Above, okay.
And then you can imagine what happens, right? You're like, call down to that room that's right next to the stairwell.
Sure.
Is it clear?
Is it clear?
And if it's clear, all your partners or friends or girls that are going to come down and, you know, they're going to hang out and party and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, there is a curfew. So guys are knocking on the door and they're like coming around.
So the team has somebody that goes around. They've got spotters.
Yeah, they've had spotters. Yeah, I have to tell these stories because it's really funny.
These are young kids. If you think about it, like a lot of these
like
players.
21, 22,
21,
24,
20,
25.
Yeah.
Then you have your vet guys that already know all the ropes and already know all the ins and outs. And usually if you're up underneath the vet, he'll put you on game. Like he'll kind of let you know, like, here's what you can do. Here's what you cannot do. Here's the line. You can get very close to it. Just don't cross over it. You know, it's one of those things like that.
Yeah.
But
Juarez
the vets
is over here.
Yeah. But the vets, you know, those are the guys that, man, they know all the secrets, you know. And especially when they got those relationships.
Are those guys ever
Sometimes
double agents?
They play it that way.
Yeah,
they really do. Yeah, they really do. And one, you know, and again, you know, Tony Saragusa is not with us. You know, may he rest in peace. Mm-hmm. But he was one in particular. Man, was a double agent. Man,
was he a double agent?
He would be on your side and then just set you up.
He'd be player right into the media. Double agent, man. You're right. He was a double agent. Okay, so what would he do? He'd set you up, get you caught.
So during like preseason, one of the things he would do with the things he would do with the younger players is that he would stand outside of the meeting room, with a gun,
an actual
which
gun.
is a paintball gun.
Oh, paintball gun. Okay.
Yeah, with a paintball gun. I said that wrong, but with a paintball gun.
It's like what?
And what he would do, he would post up, and any of the rookies
Yeah.
that were on their way to come in for the team meeting, which, as a rookie, you cannot be late.
Yeah.
Two things as a rookie, you got to make sure you cannot be late, and you have to have your playbook at all times. So you cannot show up to a meeting.
You literally you're carrying around your playbook.
You got to have that playbook when you go into a meeting.
Okay.
You can't just show up with that. You're going to get fined, or you're going to be in the doghouse, or something's going to happen.
Okay.
So Tony Saragusa, and this story's been told several times, he would actually stand outside, kind of hiding behind the doorway or the bush or whatever was next to that room, and literally just be picking off all of the younger guys, and so they couldn't come in. So it's like 7 o'clock, you need to be in that room, right? It's like if you're not walking with the coach to get in there, that's the only way you're going to get in there, right? And he's going to stand at that door, and before 7 o'clock, he's just going to just paint the whole driveway,
It's amazing.
or wherever your meeting room is at. And for us, it was like maybe like 45 minutes outside of Baltimore where we were at, and it was like an older hotel. Everything was outdoors pretty much, where the rooms were inside, but you can access everything from outside. It was only like two floors, and then it had like the place where you're going to eat at was like across the parking lot. So that was even worse, right? So yeah, he would pick off all the younger guys, wouldn't let them get in, and of course they would get fined or get yelled at, and make a point out of it and stuff like that. So
and have paint all over their face.
Yeah, old Tony Saragusa, man, Goose, man, he was something, man. Definitely missed. Man, he was full of joy and jokes and stuff like that, man, and great guy. I mean, he'd be mean on the football field, but
sure,
yeah,
nice
he was all jokes and fun.
Yeah, he when he worked the sideline and stuff, covering
that personality
NFL games,
that you saw on the sideline, that
seemed
was
like
his
a fun
personality,
dude.
Yeah, in the meeting rooms, always had the best jokes. You know what I mean? Always trying to get up on one person as well. He also told one of the defensive linemen, which at this time it was like near the holidays, and he basically told this particular player, he's like, they were going to cook turkeys at home. And so this player had never cooked a turkey. And so Tony tells him, like, you just get a large tin pan, you get your oil, you fill it all the way up, and you just drop the turkey in there. Okay. So he believed them and did exactly what those instructions was. Yes, literally, literally before Thanksgiving, he did that. And in doing so, of course, if you got grease and oil and it's heated up and you drop a turkey in there that's cold, what's going to happen, right? Grease is coming out. And that particular joker, and this actually was not during Thanksgiving. I think this was closer to Christmas time.
Okay.
And not only did he burn half of his apartment up, from this night, there was damage to the other connecting apartments as well. Like it was,
my God.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Like when we were all in the team meeting room and we're waiting, and we're like, Goose is back there laughing and joking, and we're like, what's so funny? Why is he laughing? And he knows what has happened, and it's just a matter of time before they call the head coach, and you can hear everybody say, Goose, what happened?
Yeah.
So
he was always the source.
Okay. Yeah, he dropped that turkey in that grease, man, and didn't realize that reaction was going to happen.
Did he get burned? Did he get burned or anything?
Nah,
because that's
luckily
dangerous.
he didn't get burned, but yeah, he destroyed half of the apartment that he was in.
Amazing.
It caused a lot of damage, and this was like I said, I think this was right around Christmas time. Yeah, right. You talk about having a Christmas, man. Spoiler alert, right?
Yeah. All right. You can choose your own adventure here, but who got you in the biggest pickle?
Oh, man.
What teammate would try to get you in? Because to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you were always on time. Were you always on time? Were you good? Were you regimented? Because coming from a military background, I feel like you're not messing around.
My thing is
but
that,
was there a teammate that was like,
if tip off was 3:25 like it typically is,
okay,
I'm gonna be there for tip off.
Okay.
Now, if you're accounting for me at 3:19 and 3:18, 3:16,
nowhere to be found.
Don't be counting on me,
Okay.
Because I'm in my routine, and my routine leads up to the time that I need to just be where I need to be.
Okay.
And for most guys and for most coaches, that kind of drives them, nuts, because they want you there, at a certain time ahead of time. But, for me, as long as I'm there by the time the cutoff time, that's what matters.
All right. Favorite city you've ever gone to as a player?
Oh, man. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Hey, do you have a gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only, 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, and select parishes in Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.